Today we play golf.
Let me show you how we do it in the pros.
Welcome to Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
I never miss with the 7-iron.
A conversation with some of the most interesting innovators and entrepreneurs behind the biggest names in golf.
My friends with the golf clubs. I lived on the golf course. I lived on the driving range.
From pro talk
You should learn something from each and every single round you play.
to fun from on and off the green.
Why would you play golf if you don't play it for money?
Just let me put the ball in the hole.
This is Behind the Golf Brand Podcast with Paul Liberatore.
What's up, guys? Sorry we're a little late this morning. It was my fault. I was having technical difficulties. It's on me, but we're here and we're live and we're talking to my friend Enda from Ireland. So this is episode 59 of the Behind the Golf Brand podcast, and I'm super excited because I do have a good friend of mine. Enda, how is your last name? McLaughlin,
yeah, Enda.
Yeah,
Enda.
that's freaking Irish. And so like I became friends with Enda at the PGA show last year, and I met his dad. We talked before that though for like 6 months. Remember going back and forth on emails?
Yeah.
And then I thought you were an old lady at first. I was like, this must be an old lady. And then I saw he's this buff like Irish dude. I'm like, oh, he's not an old lady. He knows his stuff.
Buff.
Anyways, this guy's like super
person ever
smart.
described me as buff.
Anyways, he's a super smart guy, and he actually has two brands he started. One is P2 Grips, and the other is Trident Align. We've reviewed both on the site. It's been a while. I think it was like after I met you, we reviewed them. Trident Align's freaking cool, dude. I spent a lot of time with you and your dad like playing around with the laser pointer. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it's really cool to have him on the show. I guess my first question to you is, what's your first memory of golf? Because I bet you golfed a lot as a kid, because you're really good, right?
Yeah. Well, look, I suppose my background is PGA professional, but my first memory is actually probably more of pitch and putt or par three golf. I'm not sure what you call it over in the States, but yeah, just a really short par three. We call it pitch and putt over here. It was like 10 minutes from my house, and that was kind of my earliest memory of playing was more so that. So they were only short holes, like 50 meters to maybe the longest, I don't know, was maybe 77 meters. And I can remember progressing from using a 4-iron to a 6-iron to an 8, and slowly but surely making my way up until you're just, flicking little sand wedges and the holes become really, really short. But yeah, I moved on to then playing golf properly when I was probably 11 or 12. But I felt that a really good kind of basis built around my short game from playing pitch and putt or par three. I'm not sure what you call it in the States. Do you have pitch and putt courses in the States? No.
We call them executive courses. They're
executive course. Oh, that's very fancy.
They're not that fancy. These are really crappy golf courses that like have bad grass, but they're fun because they're all like par threes, right? And they're all short, so you can bust it out. You can bust out 9 holes in like an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's walking, So I used to do a lot of that with my dad. I actually have a funny story. One of a golf course that was close to my house, a pitch and putt. I played a ton of it when I was a kid. I met these guys through the website, and they're local, and they have this little brand, and I think I reviewed their products. Yeah, this is crazy. So then like 2 months later, they call me up and they're like, hey, we need your legal services. We're going to go lease out this golf course. I was like, say what? And he's like, it's a course I grew up on. And they're our age. And I was like, what do you mean you're leasing it out? Like, oh, we have an opportunity to like lease it out for 5 years for like a smoking deal, like you pay no rent almost. So yeah, I negotiated that contract. So now they pretty much have their own golf course, which is their course. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
The grass still sucks though. Let me just tell you that. But
well, the first time it was around about the first time I went playing pitch and putt. I went with an auntie of mine who was playing a little bit at the time, and I can't tell you what age I was, but I know I was young. But I arrived up to play pitch and putt in a pair of football boots, because in my head, golf shoes had spikes in it. This is back in the probably late 80s when there were big spikes. So in my head, football boots had studs, golf shoes had spikes. What's the difference? So I arrived to play pitch and putt in my football boots, and was I wasn't allowed to go out on the course. I remember I couldn't understand it.
Really, you weren't?
What? No, I wasn't allowed to go out. No, no. As soon as the guy looked it down and saw what I was wearing, he said, "No, you can't
Oh no, you're
go
gonna
on the
tear up our
course
grass.
with those." But it was basically terrible. Look, it was a fair point. But at the time, in my head, like as a 6 or 7 year old, my football boots had studs in them. Golf shoes had spikes. So, like, pretty much the same thing. As I said in my 6 year old head, but no. But yeah, that's one memory I do have because I remember being so disappointed I couldn't go out and play. I didn't make that mistake again. Golf shoes all the way from then on. One
Yeah, then
had
you
little
became a
flaps
golf
on the top
pro,
of them.
which is hilarious.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I turned pro in 20 years ago. 20 years ago, turned
So,
pro.
where do you live in Ireland?
I live on the East Coast, about, where Dublin is on the East
Yeah.
Coast. I live about 40 minutes south of Dublin. I'm not originally from here. I'm living in a place called Wicklow. Lived here for 20 years. I'm originally from pretty much the centre of Ireland, is the best way to describe it. A
What's
place
the name of
called
that
Tullamore.
place?
Actually, place called Tullamore. It's literally 10 minutes from where Shane Erry's from, in Clara. So I live 10 minutes away. Shane would have played a bit of golf at the same course I played at. His home club is Esker Hills, but he also
Yeah.
played at my home club, which was Tullamore. He spent a couple of seasons playing there as well. So yeah, claim to fame is living 10 minutes away from Shane Erry.
You claim the fame is you live in Ireland, bro. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
want
good.
to go.
Yeah.
My wife's Irish or half Irish, and she's like, I want to take you to Ireland. I'm like, someday. I want to go there
I'll give
bad.
you. I'll
Actually, I
let
just
you in
want
a
to
little. I'll
retire.
let you in a little secret, Paul. Everyone is
What?
half Irish or a quarter Irish or
Oh no,
1/8
seriously,
Irish.
or
Everyone
Italian.
has a bit of our. Yeah.
It's because you
Yeah, it
guys
is
are a
funny,
bunch
but
of
no, look,
players, just like Italians.
we get around, Back in the day,
High
we were
five.
leaving on ships.
That was my Borat
Yeah,
impression. So
I like.
I like it very much. One time we were in
Just
Chicago and we just talked. My friend and I were just talking like we were Borat like the entire time, like on the train. Everyone was just staring at us. They thought our wives were so embarrassed. I don't know. I love Borat. Like the
you would
Borat.
thought
Like,
that your wife would be used to it by now.
oh, she loves it. Like the pre movie Borats. Like if you watch those old ones, oh my god, those are so freaking funny when he's interviewing people. Like he's doing what's that called? What's that guy's name? What was his character's name? I can't think of it. Anyway, like
Well,
where he was
see,
like the rapper, the white rapper guy.
Ali G.
Ali
Yeah, see,
G. Ali G.
We had Borat long before you. Like we had the Ali G show first. Like Ali G was first, and then it went from there on to Borat.
I love Ali. We bought the Ali G. Like this is probably 10 years ago, more than that, probably 15 years ago. We bought like the CD
Yeah.
or the DVDs of Ali G. When he would interview people, it'd be so freaking funny, and then he used like the wrong words to describe
Yeah.
stuff.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Some of those interviews were just.
Anyways, we digressed.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Let's get back to golf.
No, it's boring. Respect. Somebody in chat goes respect. Obviously, you got better, right, after playing golf, like not wearing soccer shoes. So what happened?
Oh, what happened?
You started practicing a lot, or
Look,
were you already?
yeah, no, I was pretty handy after playing pitch and putt, and then I remember one of my earliest memories of actually going playing was I used to play pitch and putt. I played cat-handed, I played left hand low, and was pretty good. But I remember I got to a stage. I obviously played a little bit of golf left hand low. See, over here we have a game called hurling. Not sure if you've ever seen it. It involves a stick and a ball. But to play hurling, that you would grip it left hand low. So you throw the ball with one hand, and that would be the way you grip it there. Reverse of a conventional grip. So I would have played a lot of hurling when I was growing up. So that was kind of just the most comfortable way to swing the golf, was to swing it the same way I do a hurl. But I got to a point where my dad basically just said, "You're not playing any more golf until you change your grip." And I've like, I did everything I could to. Now he wasn't being mean. He was literally just, he knew it needed to change, and he knew
That's
that I
cool.
couldn't be. Yeah, he knew I couldn't get any better unless I changed. So you can only go so far, I think, with a left hand low grip. I changed, and then I progressed through the junior ranks over here, and yeah, I got to represent the country on a couple of occasions. So it was
Did you
nice. But all I
really?
wanted to do. Yeah. But look, true boys and youths. But like throughout school, all I wanted to do was turn pro. Like in my head, all I was going to be was a PJ pro. That was like, obviously if you can't go on and be European tour or anything like that, it was just to be a PJ pro. That was from we
That was
have
your
an exam
goal.
over here. That was my goal, and that was literally all. Like I used to tell my parents, look, I don't need to study. I'm going to be a professional golfer. So when it came to exams and stuff, all I needed, I'm not sure what's your last exams before you leave. We would call it secondary
College?
school, high school. What's your last
Yeah.
exams before you leave there?
There isn't any. It's like you
There
make
isn't
sure
any.
you
Okay,
pass all the
over.
classes. You pass all your
Okay,
classes, and then they're like, "Here's your diploma. Have a nice life."
okay. Well, no, over here we have something called a leaving cert, which we do in our last year of high school, and you get graded, and then that determines whether you get into college or not. So yeah, all I needed to do in those exams were pass English and pass maths, and then I could sign up to the PGA for my apprenticeship. So throughout school, that was literally all my mother used to hear was, look, all I need is a pass in English and maths, and I'm good. I managed to get that,
She's
and
she's like, "Damn it."
yeah, yeah. I know she was happy. Look, that was all I did growing up was just play golf, play golf, play golf. So, and then turn pro at 20, joined the PGA, did my apprenticeship, and then I took over at the same club I was at in 2006 as head professional. So I was there as head professional until the end of 2017, and
That's
then
the one by your house where you live now. The course.
which
The course that
yeah,
you were head
that's where
professional. Is that why you moved to the eastern
yeah
side of this country?
yeah I moved there to serve my apprenticeship. Now the plan was never to be here 20 years later.
It's because you met a
It was just
girl,
move.
I bet.
Yeah, well, yeah, well, no, well, that came after. Yes, and no, that came after. I served my apprenticeship. I finished. I actually had left the club, but I was still living in the town because I was going to move on and do something else. And then the job as head pro came up there, and I got the head pro job in March 2006. And yeah, so it was head pro first. Then obviously I met my fiance in long time girlfriend, now fiance. So I'm gradually working my way up to the
20 years later, you're gonna
day.
get married.
Pretty much, yeah. We're kind of doing everything in reverse. We've got two kids, and yeah. So but yeah. So that was 2000, and if I get the date right here now. Yeah, we met at the end of 2008, seven, seven, end of
Don't worry, it's
2007.
not being recorded, so she will probably
just
never hear that.
right. Okay. Well, she could be upstairs listening. But yeah, that was the end of 2007. So yeah, the job came first, and but yeah, once I finished at the club, I bought a house here in 2007. So there's kind of no need. Roots are here, so happy to stay here.
Where's your mom and dad live?
Happy. They live in the centre of Ireland, a place called Tullamore, who we discussed earlier. So 10
So
minutes.
how far is that from your house?
That's an hour and 25 minutes. So it's about 170 kilometers, I think it is. It's handy. It's easy. Motorway the whole way. So it's great. It wasn't always like that, but yeah. So they're close enough. They'll probably tell you that they're as close as they want me. Any closer, they probably won't let me move back now, even if I wanted to.
Do you have any
They got
siblings?
rid
Or
of
only
me
child?
once. No, I got one older brother.
Does he live in the
He's
same town?
3 years older. No, he lives up in
Is it?
Dublin.
Oh, that's closer to
Yeah.
you.
He's closer to me, yeah, but it's weird. Like my brother, I was 15, he was 18 when he finished school and went to college. So like since I was 15, we haven't lived in the same town. But yeah, it's great. Look, he's halfway to me going home, but my parents can come up and go visit him and then travel down to me, and it's good. We're not too far away.
That's cool. So you were a head professional at the course, and then you did that for what was that?
I
12
did
years?
that, yeah. That was
10 years?
So I was there
Boy,
just over what 11, about 11 years, and
see, I knew
I
you were good at
started.
golf, dude. I knew it. I freaking knew it. I could just look
Well,
at you and be like, "Oh,
well,
he's
look,
good at golf." So you look like
decent.
you look like a European golfer player with your Jay Lindbergh and nice beard and clean cut hair, and like I look like an Italian dude in Arizona who looks really tired. But other than
Well, it
that,
is early in the morning where you are. I was decent at golf, I would say probably if I look back now, I don't know if middle of the pack is putting myself down, but on a good day could shoot a decent number. But I think it's always as you grow up and then you get a job, and golf takes a little bit of a back seat. You don't have as much time, and certainly now, obviously with family and the two
your
businesses going
companies,
well,
yeah,
it's tough. So for the moment, I played golf last week for the first time, and I won't tell you how long because I honestly I can't believe how long it has been since I set foot in the course before last week. Crazy
You
stuff.
can't remember, huh?
Oh no, I can't remember. It's just I don't like to say that it was nearly 23 months between the last game of golf I played last.
Yeah, that's what people always say to me. They're like, "Oh, you have
Mad.
a golf website and you have a golf, blah blah blah. You probably go play golf all the time." I'm like, "No, I don't play golf all the time. I wish I did.
Mm,
I went and played golf like 2 weeks ago with the guys from Devereaux, and I played like crap. I mean, because I went and played in like it was hot, really. It was super hot out. You get busy, right? You have a family, you have 2 companies. Like that's a lot. You don't have a lot of extra time.
yeah.
When do you have 5 hours to go play golf? Honestly.
Look, I mean, to be honest, I could have made time. The last game before last week was the 20th of September, 2019. I played Pro-Am, and then as soon as that finished, we were gearing up to launch Trident Align in the end of November. So then Trident Align launched, then PGA Show. I don't play that much over the winter here. The weather isn't always fantastic here over the winter, but then obviously COVID happened, and then we were locked in from March. And then when the courses did open up here again in, I think it was June last year, a lot of the clubs were just members only. And because, look, I'm PGA, I didn't join anywhere after I finished because I have courtesy over here. So if I wanted to go and play different courses, I can go, I'll bring them up and they'll give you courtesy and let you out. So for that reason, I'm not a member anywhere. So last summer, because of that, then kind of that summer kind of came and went. And then you're into winter again. And earlier this year, I could have made more time, but P2 was going well, and Trident obviously is building steadily every month. It wasn't that I didn't want to play, it was just kind of, look, it's just not fitting in right now. But I played last week and I played quite nicely.
Well, it's not like you don't
So
want to play. It's just like finding the
no,
time to play. That's the hard
yeah,
part.
yeah.
Like
Well, I think
legitimately
if I was a
finding.
member somewhere, yeah, I
Yeah.
think if I was a member somewhere and it's like, look, I've got somewhere to go, but at the moment for me to go and play even the course closest to me, you got to ring up someone, just say, listen, is it okay if I nip out for a few holes? You're always having to ask permission. Yeah, it just wasn't. First things
Yeah.
first, and that's business and
That's
obviously
business.
and trying to build this, and yeah, and the way I look at it is, look, when the businesses are flying, there'll be plenty of time to play a little bit more golf. But yeah, no, I played last week and played twice last week and enjoyed it. I was down home with my dad over the weekend and played a few holes with him, and that was really
Is he a
nice.
member over there?
Yeah, to be honest,
somewhere?
oh, you know, he's a member there, the home club.
It's
I
kind of
grew up
like the thing to do in
so
England and Ireland, right? It's like everyone has their club and everyone has a membership to a club. I didn't realize that. In the United States, you just go
yes,
wherever you want,
yeah,
right? But it's like it's really a thing over
yeah,
there. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, I'll take you to blah 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 club,
yeah.
and I'm like, I don't even know what that even is.
Most people over it is changing slightly, but the typical norm over here would be you would a member of your local club. So whichever town you're in, generally you'll join the club that's there. Just the way it is, you pay your annual membership and away you go. Like it's not majorly expensive over here. Certain clubs are, but on average the memberships aren't hugely expensive.
So why didn't you have the idea for P2? Because that was the first company you did.
The idea for P2 came about, it was roughly, I think, August 2004.
Really?
And what it was.
All right,
Yeah,
so
look,
it was 2004, and you got a Scotty Cameron putter, and then what happened?
yeah, I didn't like the skinny grip that was on it, so I was down in the back of the pro shop and I was putting other grips on top of the Scotty Cameron grip, trying to get a feel for what one, felt good and looked good with my new Scotty, and all delighted with myself. So, but the problem that I had when I was putting was I had to grip my putter the same way I would grip an iron, so both thumbs would be slightly opposed to one another. And it always, anytime I tried to get my thumbs kind of straight down the middle, it always just felt really weird. When I put the two grips on top of each other, essentially stacked up, they took up so much of my palm that naturally it put both thumbs pointing straight down the shaft. So that was kind of the first thing I caught. I was like, okay, that kind of solves the problem. So from there, I went and I got tape and I taped the two grips together, and then I got some glue and I stuck them together and just started to tinker around from there. And it wasn't until that was 2004. And I looked into the idea of patents and all the rest, and it just looked as in this system, not on a huge amount of money. Just oh, wow, this looks expensive. So I didn't do anything with it. I had my first meeting with a patent attorney in January 2009. So it was nearly 4.5 years before I did anything. Then it took 3 years to get it to the market in January 2012. Within the first month, got Padraig Harrington using it. He used it for 9 months which was great. Gave it a good lift. And then the only reason he took it off, I only found this out months later, was because he was in the States and he wanted to change his putter. He didn't have another one of grips to hand, so he ended up something else. But I was listening back to 2012 and how little I knew about what was ahead of me. We do laugh, and I say we do laugh about like how naive I was, thinking that you can take one grip and kind of make a company out of it. It took a lot of lessons, and then in 2016 we relaunched the PJ Show again. I have a great business partner, and we relaunched in 2016. We introduced 4 new shapes, so that was the core range, and then in 2017 we went back and introduced the tour range, and we've gradually just built on it from there. But yeah, look, so what P2 is, the simplest way is, if I don't know if you can you see, so normally a grip will go straight up through the middle, or shaft will go straight up through the middle. With P2, what we do is we put it along the underside, so it runs off center. So it doesn't run up the center of the grip. So what it's designed to do is to get your wrist into that position there. So rather than kind of a neutral position here where your wrist can go back and forward, nice and freely, once you start to force that wrist down, it's classed as ulnar deviation. And once it's in there, it's much harder to move. You can move it back, but that flicking motion forward is very much restricted. So it's designed to reduce the amount of mobility to the hands and wrists during the stroke. What does it feel like? It feels like the putter's a little bit more upright. The lie angle of the putter isn't affected. So if your putter is 71 degrees, we will add about 3 degrees of an upright feel through the grip. The putter shaft isn't changed whatsoever. So it's just about positioning the hands and wrists in a better position biomechanically to perform better. And one thing that we did do before we relaunched in 2016 was we had a biomechanics expert, Dr. Paul Hurrian, Quintic Ball Roll. Paul's the designer of Quintic Ball Roll and Quintic Consultancy. So we had Paul carry out independent testing on the grips using a number of golfers, and it was he who kind of came back with a proper biomechanical report to say, yes, this works. So what the results proved was that the testers struck more putts closer to the sweet spot. There was less hook spin or slice spin imparted on the golf ball. There was less putter face twist because it wasn't been struck out with the toe or heel, and more putts started closer to the intended start line because of it. I think we're probably one of, I'm not aware of anyone else. I don't want to say we are the only one, but I'm not aware of any other putter grip manufacturers that actually have an independent biomechanical report carried out by a company say that, look, yes, these work. Like
I don't know of anybody either, to be honest. I mean,
I'm not going to say that we are the only one, because I don't know that categorically, but I haven't heard of anyone else.
So Kyle has a question. He says, if there's 3 pros you could play with in the world, who would they be? Shane Lowry.
Okay, well, I'm going to go Tiger anyway. That's kind of the obvious one. Yeah, look, obviously you'd love to have a game with Shane, but I think we're talking about kind of all-time guys here now. So
Tiger Woods for sure. I would do that.
Tiger Woods for sure. Oh wow.
Would you do Phil? I wouldn't do.
No, look, there's a lot of guys that I think I'd like to have, but you're trying to pick. Do you know who I'd love to play with? Because I've watched so many of his videos. And I think it's just Mo Norman.
Oh yeah, my dad used to watch all the time.
But basically starts the backswing like 2 foot back from the ball and then just hits it like a frozen rope. So I think he would be interesting to play with, and he seemed like a funny guy. I don't know. Then I guess is a bit Seve. Maybe would I like to play with Seve?
Nicholas Palmer. I want to play Palmer. Look, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, look, it's one of those ones. I mean, if trying to pick 3 guys is
Bobby
tough,
Jones.
but,
I would want to play with Bobby Jones. I had his grandson on the podcast, dude. Bobby Jones is a cool guy. Like, what a crazy, amazing stories. Like, his great grandson was telling me all these stories about him. Like, it was nuts. He was a lawyer too. I didn't know.
Hard ones to pick because there's so many. Like, yeah, look, you love to throw in Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer and Gary Player and Seve and so many. Like,
you have the originals, right? The tour range, and then the core range came out when? In 17?
The core range came out first. So the core range
came out first.
The core range is essentially is heavier, so it's our kind of counterbalance. So we have grips that go from the Aware, which is our smallest one, goes 100 grams, 125, 148, and then 183. Now, those grips are very much, as I said, our counterbalance design, except we don't just stick a plug in at the top and try and add 40 or 50 grams. What we do is we spread the weight out the entire length of the grip, so it's not just above kind of at the top hand. So we spread the weight out along the entire grip, which we feel provides a better balance for the putter. So the core grip is generally we would target at someone who just wants a little bit more feel in their hands. So if you put more weight in someone's hands, it's easier for them to feel what the putter is doing and just provides more feedback. So generally that's who we've found the heavier grip suit.
You need to send me them again. I think it'd be kind of cool. I want to try them out again, all of them.
Yeah. The tour.
I liked
the tour
it. I
grips obviously
like 2 years ago. I don't know. Like, I think you sent it at the time. I don't think I had him. I think you sent to Damon. I think Damon tested him out, but he lives on the other side of the United States. So, so then.
Yeah. No, we started.
That was your like flagship brand, right? And then you started Trident Align in November of 19. So tell me the story. Like, how did you come up with that idea?
Trident was born out of. I always liked the idea of using a line on the golf ball to putt. So and it makes perfect sense to be able to stand back behind the ball, aim a line. Let's say on a right to left putt, I'm going to aim a 3 foot right of the hole. So the line aim the line 3 foot right. But the problem was when I stood behind the ball, that line looked like it was perfectly aligned 3 foot right of the hole. But when I stood over the putt and looked down at the line on the ball then would look like it was going straight at the hole. So even though I know from behind, it's definitely not aimed straight at the hole. It is aimed right. When I stood over it, to do with, I guess, aim bias, my eye dominance, where I positioned my head, how I tilted my neck, just how I positioned myself in front of the golf ball, made the line look different when I looked down. So it made it very difficult to trust where the line was aiming, because
This thing actually works. I tried it. We like used the laser pointer at the show. It was like dead accurate from a far distance. So, anyways, so when you're behind the ball, that's what you're starting at.
When I stood over the ball, the line didn't look like it was aimed far enough right, because I have as I've found out, I have an S to the right, so I'm dead straight putt. Even though I think I'm aimed at the middle of the hole, I would tend to aim slightly further. Now that could be just inside right edge, it could be just outside, depending on the length. Obviously, it gets further as you go back to the hole. But so what I tend to do then is, do I trust the line on the ball, which I'm seeing, which I know is aimed 3 foot right, or do I go with my gut, which is telling me no, you need to aim further right? So when you're standing over a putt and you've already got that kind of element of doubt in your head, it's not good. Then you don't want to be the guy then that puts down the marker and starts to readjust, and you have your playing partners looking at you going, oh, really, again, he's going to adjust it again. So you end up kind of rushing it. So the idea was, I just had an idea on this. I wonder how I could give myself more time to line up the line. And I kind of had the idea of an adjustable ball marker. How about, if I could make something that I can put down on the ground that has a line, that even when I remove my ball from the green, I can still adjust the line that's on the marker. Because look, markers that are on the market already, which have a line on them, unless you know the line of your putt before you even put the marker down, that line that's on the marker really isn't any use to you, because once you then read the putt, and look, I know there's
looking at
brands out there. I'm
read the green, you go, oh, I lined it up, and then you've already moved on beyond it. You might not even be lined up right.
Yeah, so look, there's very few people out there who read a putt first and then mark the ball. It's generally the reverse. So you get to the green, you mark the ball, you clean the ball, and then you start your process of reading the green. So what I wanted to design was something that you can do that. You can mark the ball, remove the ball from the green, start to read your putt while your other playing partners are playing. And while you're in the process of reading the putt, you can start to adjust the line that's on the marker to your start line. And not be breaking any rules. That was the first part of it, was trying to design something that would allow us to do that. So we've designed Trident essentially in two elements. So the black base acts as the marked position of the golf ball. So that stays put on the green, and then we have an adjustable top plate on top, which swivels left and right. So as you read the green and you need to move the line a little bit, it's breaking left to right, you're going to move your marker to your adjustable aim pointer to the right to allow for that break. But then there was the element of, right, okay, I've got my start line. I've moved the marker to the start line that I want. The other issue I had is if you put a ball down on the ground and have that black line. If that black line is tilted slightly left or right, that can affect how your eyes perceive where that line is aimed. So to give you an idea, from 8 feet, if your line is tilted 1 degree, that is aimed outside the hole. Same way as a putter face. So if your putter face is aimed or closed or open 1 degree, it's aimed outside the hole. So from 15 foot where you go away from the hole, if that line on the golf ball is tilted just half a degree left or right, it's aimed outside the hole. So then the question for me was, how do I make sure that the line of the golf ball is perfectly positioned at 90 degrees to the surface, or pointed straight up at the sky? So that was when I came up with the idea of putting half the square on the golf ball and then half the square on the marker. And then you just, when you put the ball back down, all you have to do is just join the two of those up. So there's no kind of readjusting the line on the ball. You've already adjusted the marker. You trust that that's aimed properly. All you have to do now when you position the ball back down is match essentially the two halves of the square. If the ball is slightly tilted or rotated, that square shape won't line up. Like if any of your viewers go to the website to see the way it is, when you look down from above the ball, you'll see how the square matches up. If it's slightly leaning one way or the other, that line or that box won't match up. So that was kind of the idea behind it, was to try and give you more time to line up your putts first of all. And like, obviously we've had lots of people over the last few months, come on Facebook and Instagram, all, another thing to slow play down. We're very conscious of slow play, and that was kind of the idea of having an adjustable marker, is that while your playing partners are lining their putts up, you can be adjusting your marker. The ball doesn't have to be down, so you could be doing it. So generally by the time someone has put it ahead of you, all you have to do is put your ball back down. When you start to use it, yes, there's a little bit of a period of getting used to it, because normally if your playing partner is putting before you, you have a quick look at your putt, and then you stand there with your hand on your putter for the next 60 seconds while he puts.
You're waiting around. Yeah,
you're just waiting around. So with Trident Align, obviously you don't have that element of standing around while your playing partner is reading his putt. You're reading yours, but you're just making little adjustments until you get it to a position where you're happy that that's my start line, that's aimed at my start line. And as I said, when it comes to putting the ball back down, it's just a case of matching up the two squares, or two halves of the square, and then that is matched up to the start line that you picked using the adjustable aim finder on the marker.
So when did you start developing this idea?
I know it was sometime in 2017. We were going to bring out a putting mirror first. That's actually coming out now in September. But we had this pretty much ready to go in terms of CAD drawings and ready to send to the factory to have the mirror developed. But I spent some time. We're a sponsor of the Europro Tour over here, which is like, what's the tour below the web.com over there? One tour down, essentially. So that's basically what it is over here. So the Europro Tour there'd be European Tour, Challenge Tour, and then the Europro Tour. We would be a sponsor in the Europro Tour. I spent some time over at the events, just on the green, trying to get lads to show them P2. And I saw the amount of guys who were using a line on the golf ball, and the amount of guys who would put a chalk line down on the green and put along that line. And after about 3 or 4 events, I was kind of going, wow, the amount of guys who are using a line and actually taking time to set it up. There's obviously a chance there. So it wasn't. I remember sitting in an airport in Geneva with my business partner, and I had it sketched out in a piece of paper, and I basically just said to him, I said, look, I think this needs to come first. And that was September 2018, and then we spent the next year and a bit getting it ready. Yeah, so let
me tell you why I like it. All right, let me tell you, I knew nothing about it. Okay, so when I went and met him, I was like, we went to the small room at the PGA show. It wasn't small, it was a big room, but it was like a private area, kind of. It was really cool how he had it. And then it was him and his dad, and then me and Damon went and saw him, and I thought we were talking P2 grips, right, at the time, because that was what we'd already reviewed it. We talked to him, and I'd gone back and forth for months, like emailing back and forth. So I was kind of excited to meet him. Your dad's super cool. Like, he's the nicest guy. First, like, your dad's so freaking funny. He reminds me of my dad. Right? You were talking to Damon a lot, and I was talking to your dad. And your dad was, like, showing me how it all works. This is what the cool thing is, you guys. He had this, like, leveler laser, right? Like, you have when you're trying to, like, inside your house or whatever, you go to Home Depot or something, and you're trying to figure out where the lines go, and that laser goes out really far, for, like, hammering and nails. So he had one of those, and, like, he was putting that behind the Trident Align, and like lining it up, and it was like, all right, pretend way over there is the hole, and let me show you the difference between using the Trident Align and not, and how much just that little bit, that 1 degree can really screw up your shot. And it was insane because the further you go out, the more you see the difference, right? So that your 1 degree gets bigger and bigger as you go out.
Yeah.
But with Trident Align, you know, it was like dead on, right? Like your line was your line. It wasn't like off by that degree or half a degree or whatever, 2 degrees, you know. I was like, holy crap. I mean, it's really cool. Like, and it works. And I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
I don't get a kickback. Like, I'm telling you, it worked.
Yeah, no, that was a simple test that we showed a lot of people that day. So like, to fill out a little bit more, what we would do was put a target down on the carpet to recreate the hole, and then we
Simple's
lined
always
up.
better, right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, but seeing is also believing, because not a lot of people would have believed us. So what we did was we positioned the trident marker and the golf ball all in a perfect line. We put the laser line through it, so it was going straight through the middle of the hole as well. So straight through the middle of the marker, straight through the line of the golf ball, and straight down to the hole. And then literally all I did then was just tilt the ball literally the width of that laser, so that it was just slightly off the laser line. And then we readjusted the laser line so that it was now running through the line on the ball again. It was a good 18 inches left or right, depending on which way we tilted. But it was way off, and the amount of people that saw us do that test and just went, you know, wow. So for anyone that says that ball or the line on the ball tilting slightly left or right doesn't make a difference, yeah, just hasn't seen just how far off. It's the exact same way that the putter manufacturers say that, look, if your putter face is 1 degree open or closed from 8 feet, you're going to miss. It's aimed outside the hole. So
it's literally the same concept, right? Like,
absolutely, yeah. So look, obviously, as you said, the closer into the hole you get, you got more margin for error. So from 5 feet, like 2 degrees left or right is outside the hole. But again, I would put a wage down with anyone that if I put a ball down and I tilt it 1 degree off, no one's spotting 1 degree. It's so small and so tough on a round object as well. If it was maybe a different shape, it might be more obvious. But on a spherical object, it's not easy to spot 1 degree or half a degree. So, but it was about using my knowledge of being a player, some kind of a player, form of a player, to my coaching background, you know, teaching people and seeing just how many people cannot align. I also spent back in when was it, early 2013. I spent some time with Paul Hurry, and I went over to kind of show him the early grips, and it was him who kind of opened my eyes, excuse the pun, to eye dominance and aim bias, and just how far off I aimed. I didn't realize that I aimed right, and I think a lot of people that can be influenced by, if you're someone who draws the ball an awful lot, I can guarantee you with your putting on longer putts, you're aimed further right than you think, because it becomes ingrained in us all. If you're a fader of the golf ball, I can guarantee on longer putts you will tend to aim your putts further left, because it's how you see shots. That's why the pros do so much work with strings and chalk lines, and, you know, just going over their alignment again and again, because so many of us get it wrong. So it was just
yeah, and it's so important,
feedback.
Right? Like, you lose so many strokes on putting and chipping. It's ridiculous. I mean, like,
yeah,
you could be the worst guy off the tee with a driver and with your irons, but like, it doesn't matter. You can still get the ball relatively close. It's his last 2 shots that really matter, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
look,
it's cool.
I would say I'm pretty good from kind of 5-6 feet. I'm confident enough that I'll knock in a good few of those. When I went further, I didn't hold enough kind of 15, 20 footers, and the first time that I really knew how good Trident was, and I don't say that any big headedness or ego involved, but I was playing that last round of golf I was telling you back in September 2019 was a poem. I'm playing with my business partner, my dad, my brother, and I was on the 8th hole, and I had a putt that was probably breaking about 7 foot from right to left up over a hill, and I remember lining it up, convinced it was aimed where I thought it should be, put the ball down, and when I stood over the line of the ball looked like it was going straight at the hole, so like way too far left. And I remember looking up at my playing partners, and I kind of laughed and said, this could go horribly wrong. They were my words to them. But I committed to, look, I'm gonna hit this along the line that I've chosen. It literally missed by half an inch on the right. But that was the first time I really went, wow. Because if I got my gut, I probably would have aimed another foot and a half right. Because that's where I felt that I should have been aimed. It's an eye opener. But again, until you use it, some people it's going to be very quick to get used to it. Some others it's going to be lessons learned. But look, we'd always say, Paul, it's trying the line is not the quick fix. Like there's elements to putting. There's four key elements really. You've got read, you've got aim, you've got pace, and then you've got your stroke. So we take care of the aim part. That's the only bit that we can do. That's what the product is designed to do. So if you read your putt correctly, we take care of helping you get the aim of the putt correctly, get the aim of the line and the ball set correctly. From there, then it's just a case of you getting your pace right. You know, I've learned a lot from using it. That if I, was I happy with the line that I picked? Did the ball do what I thought it was going to do? Yes, it did. Well, then why did I miss? Well, you missed because it was either too firm or was a little bit too soft for the line that I chose. So you can learn a lot if you look for feedback from, obviously, it's easy to not look at putts that you've holed. You just go, well, yeah, look, I got everything right. I got the read, I got the aim, I got the pace right now, put a good stroke on it. But I think there's so much you can learn from missed putts as well, especially when you know, right, okay, well, I was happy with the read. I was happy with where I'd aimed the marker and aimed the line of the golf ball. If you missed, well, then did the putt do what you thought it was going to do? If the answer is no, then okay, it was a bad read. If the answer is yeah, it did move left to right, but it didn't move as much as I thought, well, then was the pace a little bit too firm to take the line that you had chosen, was a little bit too soft. So you gotta learn from missed putts, when you can. As I learned quite early on from using it that I tended to aim my left to right putts a little bit too far left. Quite often was saved because of the right aim bias I talked about before. So I aim further right than I think. So certain putts when I had a left or right putt, where I thought I was aimed, I really wasn't. I was often been saved by a flaw, really, because I wasn't aimed where I thought I was aimed. Or sorry, I was aimed, but yeah, it was just to do with the aim bias not being correct. So, and again, aim bias can be affected by, if you get someone to set at home, move the ball up in their stance, check out how the target looks from there, move it back into the middle, it can look different. If you tilt your head a certain way, there's so many things that length of the putter can affect it. How much you bend over or stand more upright can affect how you perceive the line. So I would tell people, just get a tape measure, pull the tape measure out about 10 foot and just set up to the end of the tape measure, because that's in a straight line. Look down along it and see if that line looks straight to you. If it doesn't, move to a position where it starts to look straight. Because if you can't do it kind of indoors, when there's nothing in front of you, no pressure, you're not going to be able to do it in the course.
Yeah, like I've been practicing my putting a lot with the Perfect Practice putting green. Like in my house, dude, that thing freaking works. Because I played golf 2 weeks ago, and just with practicing putting and like kind of figuring out like my speed and my distance and stuff like that, like I think I probably saved 6 strokes. Like I one putted them, and like that adds up quickly, when you're one putting and not 3 putting, and you're like, you could have done bad on the entire hole, but if you one putt it, you still got par, maybe, or at least got bogey. Like I don't know. I think what I like about your tool is it's very interactive, if that makes sense. Like you prepare to use it. Like you already kind of have the ball set up, but then you kind of already kind of have this mindset, and that what do you do for that minute or so when you're when you're waiting for someone else to hit, right? So that you find out that this is where I'm aiming, and then you have a better chance of making the putt. So, I think it's a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, look, it's very simple. Look, there's obviously going to be plenty of people, and there has been plenty of people who will say, oh, it's a gimmick. And I would say, well, look, it's a gimmick.
All training aids are gimmicks. That's what everyone says that for everything nowadays.
Look, I have no problem with someone saying, look, it's a gimmick. But it's kind of, well, look, go try it. Go check out the Google reviews of people who have actually tried it and are using it. And again, look, as you said, it's sometimes not all about the one puts. Like, if you can, for the average golfer, let's say between handicaps of, 8 up to 25, if you get a guy who is playing off an average enough handicap or a handicap of 15 or 20, and they can 2-putt most greens from anywhere, 15 foot to 40 foot. If you can all of a sudden leave a putt from 30 foot, a foot away from the hole because you've aimed it correctly, you've got decent speed, and you've only got to tap in for par, versus if you, like I would have done before, aim too far right, and even if I got the pace right, I was still probably finishing up 2 or 3 foot right of the hole than I thought I would. It's not always about the one puts either. It's about just how many times you 2-put around. Like we've had plenty of people getting in touch over the last 18 months to say that, look, I use it for the first time or second time, and that's the first time in as long as I can remember that I haven't had a 3-putt. And again, those reviews are there for people to go on and see. It's not us just saying it. And that's the nicest part for me. Look, I come at this very much from, I'm a golfer first and foremost. Secondly, I'm a PGA Pro, so having given lessons and seen the issues that people have over the years and kind of put that to knowledge. And then I suppose the third aspect is I've kind of just fallen into being a product designer. It's not something that I went to college to study, but it's just something that I really, really enjoy. And once
Yeah,
I
you should
get
have
into
done
it,
more in school instead of messing around as much as
I know. If only I knew then that I was going to get into product design. But like that's
what
kinda I
happens,
like.
dude. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was like, "What was your major in college?" And they're like, "The classics." I'm like, "What the hell is the classics?" And it's like Greek, Latin, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, now they're like a CEO, like they became a programmer, right? Like a computer programmer, and then now they're a CEO of a company. I'm like, what? Like, how'd you go from that to that? Like, too bad we didn't know what to study when we were in school, right? Or what to spend our time on. Well, you kind of did because you were like golf, 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 golf. So really, you're just laying the foundation back then.
Yeah, I did. But I mean, look, if you'd said to me, 10 years ago, even that, look, in 10 years' time, you will have left. Like, I'm still a PGA professional. I'm still part of the PGA Association. But if someone said, look, you will no longer be working at a club, you will have absolutely no interest in ever working at a club again. You will, go into product
that was
design,
your education,
and you will actually bring it.
Yeah,
no, it was.
like that was your education.
It's all
time.
part of it.
Yeah, it's all part of the little pieces that made what you're doing now. Because it's not so much like number one, it gives credibility to the brand, right? That you're not just full of crap, that you just invented this. That's a small part of it. It's like you understand the mechanics, you understand what's happening. It's not all theory. It's like try and true, right? Like, and that's why it works. That's why your grips work. That's why your Trident Align works, because you're literally on the battlefield every day, right? Like figuring it out and that kind of thing. And I wouldn't be able to invent either of those things because I wouldn't even understand, like why.
Look, you fall into it, Paul. I mean, look, I didn't really set out one day. I'll tell you the honest truth was I was in the gym one day. This is going back years ago, and I remember.
See, I knew it. You're all buff and.
No, I do. Look, I know I'm not all buff, but I do go. I enjoy going to the gym. But I suppose, look, that's been the other side over the last few months. Like, if someone over the last few months said, look, you can go and do a spinning class at the gym, or go and do some weights, or go pick off. To be honest, I was kind of like, well, look, I enjoy going to the gym. But in between, that's a few years ago. My phone pinged Instagram as it was, message or whatever it was. I remember just looking, I forget what it was. I saw a picture of something, and that was the first thing that I kind of went, oh, there's something in there. It was just the shape of it. That was where the idea of having something that was adjustable on the ground. And I can't even remember what it was, but that was the first inkling of something that could be kind of put together. But yeah, I mean, obviously the first question we get asked an awful lot, be it Trident or P2, is, well, who's using it on tour? Well, my answer regards to P2, and this is all that's true, P2 wasn't designed for tour pros. Like, obviously we had Michelle, we used it for a while, for a good while. We've got Joe Euro on the LPGA, but we haven't really broke the PGA Tour. But am I disappointed by that? Well, yeah, look, obviously everyone would love to have products on the PGA Tour and LPGA and European Tour. But at the end of the day, I didn't design the grips for the PGA Tour player. The PGA Tour player is already a really good putter. They've already got really good control of their hands and their wrists, and they can make a smooth stroke. Yes, obviously there's a few guys out there who have some dodgy strokes. 99% of these guys can putt. The same way with the guys on tour who use a line on the ball. Those guys are doing it day in day out. They've got so many hours to practice. But it wasn't designed for tour players. Neither product were. They were designed for the people that I used to teach at the club who don't have as much time to practice and don't have a putting coach, on ceremony at every event that they go to play, a swing coach, a whole team around them. It's designed for the guy who is just a normal guy, works a day job and doesn't get to play every day of the week. But when he does go to play, he wants something that he can actually say, yeah, well, look, I know that this is going to help me. That's why both products are designed. Any of the product that we design will be the same, unless it makes sense to me as a player, as a pro, and as a designer. It doesn't get designed. Simple as. I don't bring out anything just for the sake of bringing it out. You're just copying stuff that's already out there.
Just to sell it. You're making something
No.
to make it.
if it doesn't
you
make
know,
sense, it sounds selfish, but I hope people will take it the right way. I design products for me. If I need help with something, I can try and design a product, and I know that, okay, well, if this can help me, it can help others. That's where I try and go from with all the products. We don't go for ridiculous marketing and claiming everything under the sun that this is going to solve all your problems. It will certainly Trident
yeah, it's not
Align
an
will
infomercial.
definitely help your pudding. But I would always say, look, you still have to put into the practice. The first thing I advise people is when you get it, take it to the putting green, spend some time, hit some breaking putts. And if you're one of these guys that lines it up and you're happy with it, that it's aimed 3 foot right, and then you stand over the putt and it doesn't look like it's aimed 3 foot right, that's where you need to say, no, I was happy from behind the ball. It is aimed. I need to just trust it. I'm going to hit it and just see what happens. And I guarantee you, the amount of people that would just go, wow, I was so off because I would have aimed further left or right there.
Yeah.
It's just about designing products that make sense.
No, I think it's cool. I mean, I like how you've evolved too. And knowing you, you probably like have another thing up your sleeve, another product.
Yeah, we have a new putting mirror coming out next month, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it was. I kind of got tired of looking at the big mirrors,
Gas
like
mirror.
the big massive ones. That my not issue with the mirrors, because obviously I've used the big mirrors in the past and they're very good and they have a place. But the issue I have with them is if you take the average 18 or 20 handicapper, and even some lower handicappers, they don't really want to go to the putting green and throw down the big mirror because people will then think that they're a better golfer
Shitty.
than they are. So there's kind of just that, I don't want to pull out all the gadgets because people are just going to think, who's this guy think he is? So I wanted to design something that was just small, compact, and easy for someone to just take out, throw down, hit some putts. It has some other features to it as well. So as I said, it'll be out next month, and I'm happy to share it with you then. And then
That'd be cool.
we have another, hopefully maybe 3 products out before Christmas in the Trident Align range. 4 actually. Then we've got a couple. We've definitely one new grip coming out for P2 for the PGA show. If not, maybe 2. If I can squeeze out 2, I'll get 2 done. But again, just if the ideas pan out.
Are you gonna go to the PGA show this year?
Hopefully, yeah. It's the plan. We didn't exhibit in 2020, but we now have obviously Trident as well, which we've never had at the PGA show because apart from in 2020 when it was just very, very new, but it's very established now. There's a huge opportunity for us in the US in terms of retailers. Like we've done pretty much all our business so far, the vast amount of it just through online sales. We've got shipping in the US. We've got 3 shipping hubs in the US to look after our US customers for both P2 and Trident. So yeah, the big thing for us now with the PGA show will be retail customers and potentially distribution. We haven't really done anything in terms of distribution over in the States or even look for it because we've the website and Amazon have done very well for us. So, but yeah, I think the next step for us is probably looking at getting into retail over there or more retail. We do have some retailers obviously, but getting it into more and potentially looking at some sort of a distribution model if needed. But we've got a lot of cool things going on there at the moment that I wish we were talking probably maybe 3 or 4 weeks down the line because we've got some really cool things going on with some new partners in the US in terms of P2 and Trident. So I'm looking forward to sharing that over the next few weeks. But one cool partnership that we do have that I can talk about is Kyle Morris at the Golf Room. I'm not sure if you're aware of Kyle, but we've got a cool video series coming out with Kyle next month. And Kyle is one of our ambassadors. And again, that came about because he saw the product in someone else's video, got in touch. And that's kind of started to happen a lot more. People looking at it and actually looking into the product, trying to get an understanding of what it is and what it does. And when you get
Dude, that's what the key
really
is,
good,
man. You gotta have a lot of like content on like YouTube and stuff, like
yeah.
So people just know how it works. Like that stuff's priceless. Like my biggest videos on YouTube are the how to, use X product, right? Or why X product works the way it works or whatever. Because people just want to know. It's better than writing it out or a blog.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, blogs are fine for like Google search words and stuff like that, and showing up in in bits and pieces. But yeah, obviously the video content. But look, I mean, for us, video content is far more valuable if we can get someone else to do it. And that's
Yeah, it
kind of
can't be
where
you
I guess we're
guys. That
playing.
looks fake as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I can go on and talk about Trident and how wonderful and fantastic it is in the video, and like, but at the end of the day, I'd be very
That's an
realistic in how I look
advertisement.
at this
That's
thing.
not
What's
a.
your course? What
Yeah.
am I going to say other than it's fantastic? Whereas when we have we've Martin Chuck, tour striker. Martin is one of our ambassadors. We've now taken on Carl Morris as one of our ambassadors and a great coach as well. And we've had loads of people come and talk about ambassadors, but we've tried to say, look, no, let's keep this tight, and when the right people come along, that kind of have the same values as us.
He's the greatest.
We'd have to wrestle you away from On Point, wouldn't we?
Nah, I don't, dude.
We'd have
I'm
to
just
wrestle
friends
you
with
away
everybody,
from On
bro.
Point. I know that.
I'm
Yeah.
friends-
No, I'm only joking.
I don't want to wrestle you. You go to the gym all the time. You just admitted that, so. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm still shorter than you. Like I think you're from memory.
no,
you're
you're
bigger than me, so,
not.
like,
Whatever. You're only 5'2".
I do. Jesus, I don't think you're that small now. Jesus. You're obviously sitting up on a cushion there or something on your chair trying to make yourself look bigger.
Obviously, you're not.
No, just
I am on a
here.
cushion. How'd you know that? I'm actually standing up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not standing up.
I was going to say, did you have those things as in barber chairs years ago, and you used to go in and they used to put like a wooden plank across the top of the seat, and you had to sit up in it?
I got two
Was that
of
an Irish
those.
thing?
I got 2 of those. Yeah, we have those here. But
Alright,
we
okay.
actually put a fake piece of leather on it, so it's fancier.
Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, look,
That's how we roll.
everything's bigger and fancier in the US.
Yeah, you know that.
We are old.
I mean,
we are old. But
respect.
But yeah,
Well, I think what you got going on is cool. I appreciate you coming on the show and putting up with me as much as you do.
no, listen,
And
look,
I think
not at all.
I want to come visit you in Ireland and beat you in golf, which I
Place-
know is not going to happen.
Place to come. There's some amount of golf courses.
That's what I've heard.
All you do is go on. Ah, look, a golf course over here. Fantastic courses. We're spoiled over
It's
here.
different.
Look, obviously, there's
Yeah.
a lot of it. There, it is different. Like it is different.
Like
what you
beautiful
have in the
different.
US.
Like holy crap.
Yeah. Just like I guess what you see at the Open, the British Open, that type of links course, and yeah, we've got a lot of spectacular places dotted around the coast. We've got some really cool courses, but yeah, look, have you any other questions? I take it there wasn't loads of questions coming in. Everyone's probably tuned out now after 70
Let's
minutes.
see
got
what people
bored of-
say.
Probably couldn't understand my thick Irish accent.
Everyone likes our comments about the Italians and Irish people getting around from the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for our friendship. I do appreciate it. You need to send me some more stuff in the mail so I can play with it.
Well, we gotta do
Um,
some sort of a giveaway for your followers, I think. We gotta do something.
Yeah, we should do that. We could definitely do that. They like that stuff.
Yeah.
I do too. I'll email you about that. We can talk about it.
Well, look, following on for this, we'll do something.
I should do a video on Trident
And then,
Align.
look, we have
That's
the
what I
new
should
products
do.
out over this.
You could send me
Yeah, you should.
some stuff.
And then I can arrange that. I said, look, you're in Arizona. We have a shipping hub in California. Yeah, not too far away from you, so it can be with you
No.
pretty quickly.
Is that like an
but,
Amazon
you know, we
shipping
can do
hub, or
something
is
then
that
up-
like
No, it's ShipBob.
3PL?
ShipBob is.
Oh,
the company.
ShipBob, yeah.
Yeah, 3PL. Then we will be set up with Amazon FBA within the next month. We'll have FBA for Amazon, so that'll be
Are you gonna come off
another step
ShipBob
forward.
then?
So look, no, we'll do both.
Oh,
Like,
they're different, right?
Yeah, they are just obviously once you start FBA with Amazon. Yeah, the amount of doors that open in terms of what you can do with Amazon and stuff. But look, we're just trying to find better ways of servicing customers and making sure that we can have orders to them quickly. And yeah, we kind of pride ourselves on customer support if anything goes wrong. and
Well,
getting
Google's the
orders out
biggest
quickly
search
and-
engine, then goes YouTube, and then goes Amazon. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah,
dominate
so-
those three, then you can at least get your board out. That's hard though.
Look, we keep. Well, yeah, it is, especially in the US, because like it would be much easier to do it in the US if we weren't trying to build everywhere else as well. But with distribution in Europe and Japan and Korea and China and Australia and New Zealand, we're still a relatively small company. So I think there's still a huge amount for us to do in the US. But thankfully, with the help of podcasts like this and coming on and having a chat with you, hopefully we can reach a bigger audience and just get the name out there and get people trying. Look, we always say, listen, look, you can go and spend, if your putting isn't going well, you can go and spend another $300, $400 on a new putter or $100 lesson. Not going to try to put people off taking lessons from PGA pros, but absolutely go and do it. But for $35 for Trident Align versus the benefits it has, and again, don't take our word for it, go to Google reviews and check it out. I think for $35, it's for what it can achieve in your putting, it's pretty good value. It's very good value.
No, I think it is, and it works. So,
yeah, that's the thing.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yep.
I will bug you some more in the future. You guys need to check out Trident Align. That's the putting aid and alignment, and P2 Grips, which is two cool companies, come straight for you from Ireland. Respect.
Well, look, if anyone has any questions, they can just send us a message,
find you?
Or they can just email us. Well, Trident Align is tridendalign.com. P2 is p2grips.com. And one of the cool things we actually have coming out, I'll give you a first, is we have designed a grip comparison tool for P2. So what it's designed to do is, if you're someone who uses one of the other brands, I won't mention them all, there's plenty of them there, but we have taken images, we've taken them from exactly the same position. So if you're someone who uses one of the other brands and you're wondering what P2 grip will be the most similar to what you've been using, you can go on, you can see the grip end view, the grip mouth, the overhead shot, and the side on, and compare them to see exactly what they're like size-wise and size comparison. So that's going to be launched within the next week. So that's pretty cool. So that will be on the homepage of the website hopefully in the next 7 days. So if anyone's wondering what P2 grip will suit best, they'll be able to tell visually from that what the sizes are.
Oh, that's cool. Lots going on. You're a very busy man. Well, thank you.
Yeah, keep it going. Yeah.
I will see you guys in the
see you in Orlando,
episode.
Hopefully. See you in Orlando, hopefully.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Cool.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Behind the Golf Brand Podcast.
You're going to beat me at golf?
Stay connected on and off the show by visiting golfersauthority.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment.
Golf is always more fun when you win.
Stay out of the beach and see you on the green.